something that I feel it's really important that a woman has this huge impact on the world. And so when I'm looking at the beginning of this Torah portion, and we see these laws of purity and impurity, and it starts off with childbirth, the whole idea of a whole world, and then we see further on in the parsha about the whole idea of the house, that even the house that happens to, I think, and I feel that it's screaming out to say, well, if this happened in your house, where were you? We can't control everything, but where were you? If your kids were gossiping, if your husband was gossiping, if you were gossiping, who are you forgetting? You're forgetting God. So this is something, and maybe that's a harsh concept, but I feel like if we could control the cleanliness of our house, hopefully, and we can control, washing our clothes and feeding our family, we have to also control what's going on in the family. To an extent, you have to obviously, let people live and do their own stuff. But I feel that, and I feel this way, I guess you can say, with my mother-in-law, I feel this way, that she has a huge presence in our house. She's Russian and a very strong personality in a very good way. And so, I feel like she had a huge impact on my life for the past 15 years. It was something very strong on certain things that are just unacceptable. And so when my kids say, or if they talk or say something that I don't like, that I feel that it could be a negative talk, my kids go and say, who do you have a class with? Who you, And they say, I'm sorry, that's none of your business. And they say, why? I say, because it could lead to something that's, perhaps gossip. I don't want that. Why should they be thinking of gossip? So I do say, if they say something that's not right, I say, maybe you want to try again? It's not perfect, but at least I've tried on my side to do what I can. And it has an impact. So, but I think it really is. For myself personally, I can tell you that I have done this journey. I've worked on this journey of being more careful with what I say. I'm not perfect. With what I write, I'm not perfect. With what I do. And I even try to work on my own thoughts. I always say Tanya is a very powerful book, Kabbalistic book, that teaches you how to control your thoughts and different stuff. And it worked for me. It might not work for everybody, but it worked for me. And I was able to learn a lot from that. And so people say, I really can't control your thoughts. How you can control your thoughts? Well, if a thought pops in your head, we can't control that. We can decide what we want to do with the thought. Are we going to sit and think about this thought, or are we going to push it away? So we have to think about how we want to do that. But it's a level. Maybe sometimes we can do it, sometimes we can't do that. But anyway, getting back to topic, it's something that a person can work on. So when someone says, I can't, that's impossible. Anyone can do it if they wanted to. And I could tell you, it's not always fun discipline, but it can help. And then eventually, if you go through that, you go, oh, what's the big deal with anything else? You can try. We're not perfect, but it helps. So it talks about a little bit about family purity. I always say, if you could talk about a little bit about it, because it brought it in with the whole laws of childbirth. So the whole idea of you have that idea of the forbidden, the idea of what's pure and what's not pure. And there is the whole idea that it affects the family unit when a woman is doing the right things and following the laws of purity, and she gives blessing to her family. And I know that people say, how do you know? But I can tell you, I do know. I see there's blessings that happen. And I hear from other people that there's incredible blessings that happen. And there's something really special about mikvah and about special mikvahs especially that have lots of blessings with them, that, there's health and there's healing and there's incredible, beautiful things that happen because of this family purity. So one of the things I feel like this parsha in my mind that it really kind of starts with is the whole idea, and of course everyone's going, well, it's just childbirth leading into this like terrible leprosy. But in my mind, I'm thinking it's really speaking to the woman, because a lot of different parshas could be speaking to other people and to the person in general. This one really speaks to the woman. It's really saying, you're creating life, you're managing your household, what's really going on. And I can say, especially here in our small community, it could be very simple and easy for there to be, God forbid, a lot of fights. In my own house, God forbid, because I homeschool my children, and I have a strong personality, and I'm married to a Jewish Russian man, so that could be also a very strong situation. But there's a lot of rules that we put down for ourselves with respect and different things like that. But I also believe what helps tremendously, the fact that besides working together, homeschooling together, and everything like that, is when you have the 2 weeks off and the 2 weeks on. When you have 2 weeks off, personally for me as a woman, I feel like I have my space. And I feel that for as much as we want the touching aspect of the relationship, I feel more for women, we like, we want to hug and we want to kiss and we want to, sit together or maybe watch something. But there is something really nice also to have your own time and to feel like you're just friends. And maybe for me, I've been married for 15 years and I can say, so perhaps that makes sense. But when there is the 2 weeks on, it's very special. It's an incredible time that you have with each other. But at the end of the day, I always feel like, I always have my space. I also have my own bed. And I feel like, today, it seems strange to me that if we're really developing as a world, as a nation, it seems like we're going backwards because a woman doesn't even have her own bed. I always say that. People are like, really? I didn't notice that. Maybe it's the woman's bed. Maybe the man doesn't have a spot. Because if he's doing something wrong, he's going to the couch. That's the whole expression. But I feel that a woman, she needs her own space. She needs her own bed. She needs her own time. And when she wants to, not because, God forbid, they're fighting or human circumstance, but God creates this time where a man desires his wife, a woman desires her husband, and they have to use other ways to express themselves during their time off. They have to deal with any issues that they may have in a friendship relationship, and not just this, oh, honey, it's okay, and you're thinking of yourselves as just like attached to the hip all the time. There is a beauty of having the beautiful relationship of being connected with each other, but at the same time to be your own person, have your own space, and in the right time to take someone else into your space. So when I was thinking about the whole idea of, that a woman, after everything that she goes through childbirth, she has to bring a sacrifice to Hashem, and she's of course included in that, but it starts off this beautiful way of purity of the family. And that's exactly something that a lot of people don't even discuss, I think, because they think, they're saying a woman's unclean. No, they say she's impure, and that's okay. There's different types of impurity that we don't have in the world anymore. Certain situations because, we're in exile. But the one beautiful thing that we do have is this whole family purity.